today. I don't usually do voiceovers, but I thought this would be a really good way to introduce my new Mare to you, as well as kind of explain what I was doing. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this voiceover and if you think that that's something that I should keep doing. Otherwise, I will just go back to my normal videos. So anyway, like you saw in my last video, Rayne, which is what I decided to name her, is a 17 two-hand mare. She is registered RPSI, but she is a Dutch warmblood. She is, I think she's about 10 or 11 years old. I don't have her papers yet. They're coming in the mail, so I can't quite confirm that, but those are the ages I was given. So I'm really excited about her. Obviously she does have string halt, and she's also not very well broke, which is why I could afford her. But I'm honestly perfectly okay with that. For me, I was just purchasing her for her brain and her sensibility, which showed immediately after buying her. So she came home on Monday, and she had been born on the property that I bought her from and lived there her entire life, and because she was just a broodmare, she never had any reason to go to shows or go to clinics, so she'd never been in a trailer before and never been off property for her entire life for the 3-hour drive home. And then when she came off the trailer, she stood completely quiet, let me brush her. I took her into the arena and walked her around to stretch her legs, and she was such a good girl. So that in itself really shows how sensible she is. So anyways, today was our first ride. I was a little bit nervous as I wasn't sure how she would be, and because of her string halts, I wasn't going to lunge her beforehand as I didn't think that was very kind. But honestly, she was super amazing. We did have some issues at the mounting block, as you can see here. She's a bit trail trained, but she's not arena trained, and she's still pretty green, so obviously her mounting block manners have not been fine-tuned. So I had a hard time lining her up, and then because of her string halts, I couldn't really back her up to fix it. So we got there in the end, which is okay. And you can see too at the beginning here, her string halts is fairly obvious, which isn't that bad considering how unfit she is. Keeping in mind she hasn't been ridden since October, and horses that have this condition tend to worsen when they aren't worked. So she's basically at the worst she can be, so with fitness and with more work and more riding, she'll actually get better. So having her a little bit sticky and a little bit stompy at the start of the ride is completely reasonable at this point. Just assume she'd be okay with this, but I don't think she's ever really been taught how to steer, except for maybe a little bit at the walk. So I don't really see this as a behavioral issue. I simply think that she didn't know what I wanted and just kind of panicked a little bit and then said no just because she just wasn't sure what I was wanting of her. So I did try it again here, but this was dropped partway through just to make that turn a little bit less stressful for her. And then I just carried on with my ride because I wasn't going to pick a fight. This wasn't the right time to have a teaching moment. It was her first ride at a new place, so I wasn't going to stress her out. But that's definitely something to work on in the future, and now that I know that that's something that she doesn't know how to do, it at least gives me something to focus on for a little while. So does continue to get a little bit worse on the short sides and the turns there, but again, that's totally normal, especially with how her fitness is. And that's primarily because I have a hard time keeping her forward off my leg enough around those turns. When she's actually going more forward, I find it a little bit easier on her leg, so that'll just come with fitness and with time as she learns to get a little bit more sensitive in front of my leg. So you can see when I ask her to collect up a little bit, the string halts does get worse, which is okay. Again, just a fitness thing, and again, they do tend to get a little bit better when they're more forward, so naturally by asking her to slow down and collect a little bit is going to look worse. That doesn't really matter to me right now. I just wanted to kind of test her and see how adjustable she was and see how attuned she was to my body without using my reins, and I was honestly just blown away by her. She is fairly heavy in the hands, like she likes to snatch the bit quite a bit, so I wanted to see if I could get her to change her stride without having to use my hands, as I don't really want to encourage her at this point to be thinking about the bit. So I was really impressed because I was able to get her to slow and speed up just entirely through my core. The downward transitions do need a bit of work, but again, that's okay. She's still really green. And honestly, at the end of the day, I bought her knowing she was green. I bought her knowing she had string halt. And it's really, like I said before, the brain that I was looking for. And this mare has just been so phenomenal. Again, this is her first time ever being off property for her entire life. Never on a trailer, never away from her home. So the fact that she came off the trailer 3 days ago and was able to give me a ride like this is just fantastic. Anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment, let me know what you think of my new mare, and please let me know what you'd like to see for future videos.